Hello everybody, I am just going to film myself getting ready to go out and have a chat to you guys about some things, and yes, I am filming on my phone. To be completely honest, I couldn't be bothered with my whole computer and mic setup today, so you've got back to basics iPhone film, so here it is. So today I want to talk about bodies. So nothing new for me, but more specifically this, I guess, the sexualization of bodies and of a lot of things to do with how we present our bodies, etc, etc. Because I know that I get a lot of looks and a lot of comments on some of the stuff that I wear and some of the stuff that I do sometimes, and I mean, these comments are usually along the lines of like, oh my gosh, how do you have the confidence to do that? Or I couldn't do that, but I totally respect and I totally appreciate that you're doing it. And I hear these things and I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but it makes me sad when people say, I absolutely love what you're doing, but I could never ever do it myself. By saying that, you are literally like immediately putting yourself back into a pigeonhole where you are too afraid of your body being sexualized or being looked at. And that comes from, I mean, being able to put your body out there is a huge thing anyway, and it comes from a place of usually comes from a place of self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, or in my case, well, maybe not so much now, but I definitely used to present my body in certain ways to try and help myself feel comfortable about it and accept it and love it. So, I mean, women's bodies as just on a whole, have been and are consistently sexualized in everyday life, through the media, through other people. It's basically the only way that so many of us actually view not only women's but human bodies anymore. They are objects of other people's desires. They are meant to be looked at, they're meant to be judged and appreciated, or not appreciated, commented on. A body can't just exist as it is anymore without attaching another sort of, without attaching another sort of meaning to it. A woman can't go out showing skin without someone thinking, ooh, she must get around, or thinking that maybe she's showing too much skin. She shouldn't be showing her body like that. She might get looks, she might get stares, people might notice it. And God, I could go on about this for days because I am so for the empowerment of not just women, but of every human on this fucking planet. And if that means that you would like to go out wearing a dog collar, if that's what makes you feel empowered, you should do that. Regardless of if anybody that you walk past might think, oh gosh, she shouldn't be showing that much skin. It's your body, it's your life, and your body is not an object. Your body is not something that needs to be sexualized. It is just a body, and it is yours to do what you wish with. And we need more people reminding us of this constantly, because we live in a world that is so focused on the approval of other people. And very often you will know about it if you step outside of that zone. For example, I just last night actually, I was having a gathering with my friends, and I wasn't too sure whether or not we were going to go out into the city afterwards or anything, but regardless, I decided to dress for that event, and I was wearing Actually, I might insert a picture here. So I was wearing this, and I mean, you know, some of the comments that you get. Yeah, I know I look hot. I know it's a lot. I know it's a little bit confronting to someone that isn't comfortable with sexuality, or even just seeing lingerie in general, or seeing it as an item of clothing as opposed to something that is only seen by someone else in a bedroom scenario. But like, I felt good about myself. I feel confident enough in my own skin to wear that out of the house, in front of whoever may see me. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that we have the option in today's day and age to leave the house wearing whatever the hell we want and have every single right to do so, regardless of what anybody else thinks, because life's too short, man. Life's too short to sit at home worrying if too much of your boobs are showing in that, or worrying if your butt looks too big in this, thinking about sucking your stomach in every time you sit down in a tight dress. Life is too short. Your body was not made to be aesthetically pleasing. Your body was made to do so many things, to let you move, let you hug people, let you express yourself, let you laugh. It was not meant to look sculpted every time you decided to sit down. When your belly does those, hold on, I'm doing my brows, can't talk. Okay, I'm back. So I was saying that when we sit down, our stomach has those little rolls at the bottom. If we didn't have those rolls, we wouldn't be able to do so many of the movements that we as humans are able to do. And I mean, that's just an example. And hey, I'm not perfect. I am not like I have not mastered the art of, you know, body positivity, but like, even me, who is actively working towards that, I still, almost every day that I leave my house, I have to at least once or twice take a breath and give myself a constant reminder that I do not need to be sucking in my stomach right now. Or a habit I developed years ago, probably as an early teenager, was I would walk around like this to try and disguise my double chin. So my posture is more like this than it is this now, because I'm so aware of this now. And it's infuriating, and it's really, really just, it makes me mad, because, you know, if I hadn't have believed that, if I hadn't have been taught by the media and society to think that when I was that age and I was so impressionable, I wouldn't have my bad fucking posture right now. But the important thing is that's something I'm aware of now, and it's something that I can work on, and I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I mean, it's a one day at a time thing, learning to love yourself and be comfortable with your body, in being in the world, just being your body and doing what bodies do. But I mean, it is something that we've been, you know, conditioned to believe that we're not, that we need to fix, that we shouldn't settle for, we shouldn't just be. Our bodies shouldn't just be. We are taught that our bodies need work. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Your body should be loved for all of the things that it allows you to do, all of the moments it allows you to experience in this crazy fucking world. And the more of us that there are out there talking about this, the more people will know not to hate their bodies, and remind people, teach them, even if they never knew it in the first place, that they have a right to love their bodies. They deserve to love their bodies. They don't deserve to be punished. And based on what? Based on a societal creation. Ideal bodies have been around for centuries. They change. Even though it's like fit and toned, or for women at the moment, it's definitely like skinny and muscular, and petite, very petite. That will change. In 100 years' time, that will be completely different. And I feel like that is so important to remember, because it just goes to show how fickle the entire culture of body image and diet culture really is, if it's something that changes when a certain industry or group of industries say it's time for it to change, it clearly does not have a place in your life, and it shouldn't have a place in your well-being. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for health. I'm all for looking after yourself, no matter how you might do that. But man, it's not through hating yourself, and it's not through being afraid to show your body off when you go out in public. Alright, moving on from that topic, I do have something else related that I'd like to talk about, and this is a topic that just seemed to come up in my week a few times, and that is eating disorders. More specifically, how quick we are, we meaning people that don't have any eating disorders currently, to judge people who have them, or to make just general assumptions about eating disorders. I follow a lot of body positive and eating disorder survivors on Instagram and my social medias, and I think that's why I feel like talking about this, because I've just seen a lot of activity on that particular topic this week, and it's super important. And I know until I started doing my own research into body positivity and eating disorders, I didn't know a lot of these things. The most prominent thing being that take anorexia, for example. Once a person puts on a bit of weight, or a little bit of weight to make them, you know, healthier if they're trying to recover from the anorexia, just because they're weighing 1, 2, 3, 10 kilos more, that does not mean, I mean, in numbers it can, but it does not mean psychologically that they have recovered. And it makes me so angry when people see someone who does not look like a skeleton in real life, and it is automatically assumed that it is not possible for them to have anorexia. Anorexia is not only a physical condition, it's a psychological condition, and people with anorexia have an anorexic mindset. Sounds obvious, a lot of people don't realize this. You can gain an extra 30 kilos, be nowhere near anorexic anymore, and your mind can still be in the exact same state as it was when you had nowhere near enough weight on you, which is that you are not thin enough, you are not small enough, and you need to become small enough. Doesn't matter what weight you are. If you are suffering with an anorexic mindset, you can be any weight. And I mean, it works the same the other way. Something that I'm more familiar with, and without going into it too much today, I have a good understanding of binge eating disorder. So you're on the other end of the spectrum. And that is basically when, and I'm just explaining this because I feel like this one is more commonly misunderstood than anorexia. Binge eating disorder is when you will refrain from eating for a certain amount of time, or refrain from eating certain foods, and then your body gets to a point where it wants to eat everything in sight. Like, you just want all the things that you have been stopping yourself from having, essentially, and therefore you will binge eat. And binge eating, even though it doesn't sound that bad, if you have binge eating disorder and you really go all out on your binges, it's horrific. Like, you can eat until you're in physical pain where you can't move, and it is so painful you feel like you need to be in hospital. These binges can happen in secret, anything, and no matter whether you're starving yourself, you're just cutting out certain food groups, or you are binge eating, you will not feel any better. You might feel accomplished while you are not eating or not eating certain foods, but as soon as you binge, all that achievement, or all that sense of achievement, will go down the drain. And that's the nature of eating disorders, unfortunately. It's never enough. You will never reach a weight that you feel happy with and feel okay with. People that have binge eating disorder could be really big or really small. They could be 100 kilos or they could be 20. Either way, so many people who see someone on the street that is heavy will automatically assume that they are, you know, needing to lose weight, or they are overweight, or they are unhealthy. You cannot judge someone's health or mental state by looking at them. End of story. You cannot judge someone's health, someone's physical or psychological health by looking at them. You can't. I'm sorry. You just can't. And this is something that can fuel so many eating disorders or just disordered eating patterns in general. If you don't have a full-blown eating disorder, you could have disordered eating. So please don't comment on people's weight or looks in that regard, because someone with anorexia, if they started off at a healthy weight, then fell into that anorexic mindset and has been working to lose the weight, and people are complimenting her, you are fueling that anorexic mindset. You are encouraging it, and it is going to be more difficult to break. If you are in the process of trying to starve yourself, or you have binge eating disorder, if someone tells you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight, you are fueling the disorder and you are fueling that drive to become that certain way. And it is so self-destructive and nothing ever comes off it. I've forgotten the exact statistic. I saw it from Megan Jane Crabb, otherwise known as Body Posy Panda, in her book. I'm pretty sure the stat was 99.3% of diets, something like that. I will find the stat because I need you to know this. Don't work. Diets don't work. Diets don't work, people. Just love your body. I know it's not that straightforward, but you deserve to. I was trying to say that whole time, sorry, I just had to get my eyes done. Just be there for people. Don't make snap judgments. Be open to to learn new things from people that are struggling. Don't generalize. There is so much misinformation out there about eating disorders. Damn, just be supportive, man. Like, if you ever come across someone that's got an eating disorder, do your research. Ask them if you're in a position to ask them what you can do to support. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to finish my makeup. I was having a really hard time doing both of those at the same time. But I hope that rambling made some sense. Just something I felt the need to talk about this week. And I'm sorry I haven't been posting things that regularly. I've been drowning in uni life a little bit. That sounded a lot more nice than what it has been. I hope everyone's having a nice weekend. Bye.